Hey, what's up everybody? This is Snackbox. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, the end boss of Cursed City is very easy this rotation, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, if we take a closer look to what factions are actually allowed this rotation, we can see, very strong ones. So we have Dwarves, Orcs, Sacred Order, Lizardmen, and Knights Revenant. So let's actually take a closer look in those factions. Now, Sacred Order, of course, has one of the strongest mythicals in the game, but we're not here to talk about mythicals. If we talk about legendaries, there's also very strong choices in here. We have Martyr, which I used, and also Archbishop Pintroy, which can place heal reduction, which is very important for amius, or not very important, but definitely can help. Cupidus, Cardiel, Constantine. So there's a lot of, very good options in here that can deal damage, be support, act as a debuffer, and so on. If we take a look at the Lizardmen have also very good options. Not as many as Sacred Order, as you can see, is almost like half the champs, like in terms of numbers. But the one of the strongest one in here, in terms of support, is Pytheon. He was a fusion, and he's a really good reviver, cleanser, healer. He's really strong for this rotation. So if you need to bring a reviver, definitely choose this guy. Also, we have Krisk in here, Teox. There's a lot of good choices in here you can bring. Also, Vargal is not that bad. He has a chance to place heal reduction on his A1. He has a decreased attack, which is really important as well to reduce the damage you get from the boss. Now, heading over to the next faction, which is Orcs. You also have another fusion in here, which is really strong. Was strong last rotation and can also be used this rotation. Is Artag, also a fusion. HP burner, can activate the HP burn. Really strong. Another damage dealer is King Garruk, which recently just got a buff, so he's actually useful now. Also Tila, not bad, she can also place HP burns and heal your team. Kreela, ally attacks, Iron Brago, Varl, all these really strong legendaries. Now we can definitely also talk about some of the epics, but let's take a look at the dwarves first. So this is probably the most stacked faction for bosses, because we have Newt in here, which has a triple max HP damage hit. He just annihilates any boss that he faces. Then we have also Acrisia, also max HP hits on every single skill. Just overall really strong, really strong faction. We have Brogni, which can survive, bring survivability to your team, HP burn. Molly, a really good reviver, and she actually can hit really hard if the target is under HP burn. So there are really a lot of options, but not only in the Dwarves faction. Let's take a look at the Knights Revenant. Also a really incredible faction. A lot of champions in here, a lot of legendaries. You got Solus, you got Drank, Cavalax, Theodore, Tomb Lord. Georgit, Narcissus, Ancora, Erix, Narma. So many good legendaries which are really strong just overall and very useful for the Cursed City boss. Now, in terms of epics, you can definitely also use Godseeker and Neri, for example. Phanex, a really, really good damage dealer. And if we're talking about Lizardman, you can use Venomage, one of the strongest epics in the game. Has heal reduction, places poisons, decreased defense, decreased attack. You know, it's just like so many different things he does, and he gets less damage from enemies under heal reduction. You have Broadmaw as a reviver, which can work, you know, and let me actually look at the Dwarfs epic. Yeah, we have a Geomancer, also one of the strongest epics in the game. So I think you kind of get the idea here. Basically, you have access to the strongest champions, if you have them, in the game in this boss rotation. And yeah, that makes it really, really easy. Now, if you take a look at the fastest teams here, this is actually crazy, right? Like 4 turns for this boss. So basically they just nuke this boss without a problem. That's why I'm saying this, rotation is most likely the easiest one and should be very easy for everybody. Just, for the fact that you can use the most incredible epics in the game, but also legendaries really strong. I think the dwarves kind of dominate this rotation. Acrisia, Nude, Geomancer, Marley, Brogni, really, really strong, and they can do the job. Now, the way that I did it is pretty similar to last rotation. I have my damage dealer, I have my cleanser and reviver, I have my debuffers, heal reduction, decrease attack, decrease defense, and of course, this time around, I actually have another cleanser and an ally attacker. That's the only difference, and of course, an enemy max HP damage instead of, getting my main damage from Brimstone. This would be actually also an option, but I don't have enough accuracy on my Python, for example. If I had a soul for Archbishop, I would give him Brimstone. I don't want to change my Cardiel, Newt, or Malter because I'm using them for my Fire Knight team, so that's why I left it that way. If I would use Brimstone on one of these champs, it would be even faster. Now, let me show you actually the team I used. So as you can see, I'm not using any buffs or anything else. I'm just using the A1 with Cardiel because basically I want to save that block debuffs and the cleanse, or the block debuffs, especially for the stun of the boss. And I don't want to use the allied attack because I don't want the boss to have decreased defense from Mater. So he would just, convert it into a buff, and that's why I just went with the A1. Sometimes it's really the best choice to just use the A1 on this boss. Don't spam your skills, it's just gonna mess up, the whole run. Enemy max HP damage. And that's also a really strong thing if you have War Master on Cardiel. Every time he does, he does an ally attack with one of your champions, he has a chance to proc War Master, and that really, does a lot of damage. So now he's about to stun, but I got block debuffs on my champions, so everything's fine. The next hit he's going to use, he's going to try to heal, and I want to, reduce the damage he does because his heal scales of the damage he does and by placing a decrease attack on him, I can decrease the amount of heal he gets. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So I place a decrease attack, place the heal reduction just to make sure, because you still have a 3% chance to resist. Doesn't matter how much accuracy you have. Now I'm gonna cleanse the buffs he converted into debuffs. And now his big hit is incoming, but I'm trying to, I'm placing the decrease attack so he wouldn't one-shot one of my champions, because this hit ignores defense and he's hitting really, really hard. Even though he has decreased attack and I have defense up on my nude, he's getting him to like 50% HP. If I didn't have the decreased attack on him and a decreased defense on my nude, it would probably be a one-shot. So that's kind of the main key in, for me, to place a decreased attack at the right moment, place the heal reduction at the right moment, and place your buffs at the right moment. This is basically, this is the basic strategy you have to follow for this boss. And I just basically repeated this over and over again until he was dead. Now, one of the most important things, which I didn't do, and it screwed me over a couple of times, is this mastery. You don't want any cooldown reduction on your champions. You don't want reflex gear. You don't want cycle of magic, because it just messes up the whole run. He will, when you decrease the cooldown of a skill, he will decrease the cooldown of this passive and turn it into his other form faster. And if you decrease the cooldown of your skills while he's in the alternate form, he will use this abyssal construct, and as you can see, this will ignore 100% of the target's defense, and damage increases by 20% for each debuff on the enemy. Now, of course, you get less damage when your champions are, awakened, if you have high level souls, but it still hits hard. And if he kills an enemy, he instantly activates this skill, and you kind of get in a cycle where he's just killing one of your champions, like one champions of your team after another, and just wipes the whole team. So no skill cooldown reduction is very important. Then you want heal reduction, when he's trying to heal, and you want decrease attack. These three things are probably the most important ones, and block debuffs, I'd say. Four things: heal reduction, no skill cooldown reduction, block debuffs, and decrease attack. If you have those four things, you should really, have no problem to beat this boss. Now, if you want to watch a full breakdown of this boss, you can check it out in my other video of the last rotation. I'll link it in the description below. Maybe this will help you even more. But for this rotation, I don't think anybody that's in the end game should have problems to beat it, since the champions we can use here are really, really strong. And I don't think, it's going to be hard for anybody. Even if you're using epics, it should still be very, very doable. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something. Leave a like and a comment in the section below. Subscribe, help me to grow this channel, and see you in the next video.